Hey guys, it's Sam with another phone video today. Today we're going to be looking at a couple different things, and one of them is IMEI.Pro bugging out sometimes. One of them is my phone checklist on what I do, some advice on SIMs, and then an interesting situation that I am doing right now over a phone. So first of all, let's look at how I check phones. I don't say this is the best way. It's at least the best way I've come up with, but maybe you guys have something super fantastic and amazing. And so we're just gonna kind of pretend to use my phone today, which is an S6. All right. So when I first get a phone, usually I'm buying iPhones, but maybe I get an Android. The first thing I do is run it through activation if it's already been reset. You guys should all be super familiar with this. Also, what I do if I need to set up a password or if I check the Touch ID at the same time when I'm working with the seller, I always tell them, here, I'm setting up the passcode and it's 0000 or however many numbers that they make me get. So then everyone feels comfortable. It makes me seem more legit, even though I'm not actually. I really could be, I could be lying to them or something. I'm not, but it makes the rapport just be a little bit better. So you run it through activation. Now, as far as SIMs, do I have any on hand? Maybe. I carry a little container, little clear container. It's about the size of this yogurt container, actually, that has a bunch of SIMs in it. So I carry Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T. I had a Cricket one for a while, might have lost it, and I think that's it. Now, if you don't have these SIMs available to you and you need to be buying phones, like running them through activation with iPhones, what you want to be doing is picking up a few from eBay. So for like $1 or $3, you can buy a non-blacklisted inactive SIM. So I did this myself with a Sprint SIM the other day, and then I realized I had a Sprint SIM laying around in a phone. So a little bit derpy, but definitely do this. Or if you need a rare SIM or something weird, just eBay it. Super cheap, $3 I think is what I paid for mine, and they just mailed it out to me in an envelope. So really, really dope option there. When I got started, it was difficult. I'm lucky that most people use AT&T where I am, because otherwise I would have been totally screwed as far as checking them. So we've run this bad boy through activation now. What do we do? Couple things I always check. If there's a fingerprint sensor, I check that immediately. I want to make sure it works. People will lie to you all the time about that stuff. Or you check the fingerprint sensor on an iPhone and it doesn't work, and suddenly you know, okay, not original home button, assuming the rest works, right? Even if they're not telling you this. If it's on an Android and the sensor is on the back, like it is here, okay, or well, the biometrics, I should say, is on the back, and the biometrics aren't working, it's pretty likely that the phone was dropped. This is also good to check. Also, so any of the Note series, the Galaxy series, if the back is cracked, be sure to check and see if the biometrics work. I looked at an S7 Edge the other day with a very cracked back, and what I found during setup, and you want to be paying super close attention to this, guys, is the phone sluggish? So when I tried to set up that phone, it was being really finicky. It wasn't quite working right. I was at a Sprint store at the time. The chick I was buying from was running this thirst trap on one of the staff members and trying to weasel out a free Apple Watch. So that guy was definitely on her side through the whole thing. It was so weird, actually. But when I got to the dial pad after I'd activated it and put my SIM in finally, oh, we can't really see that. Well, you have to believe me, we're at the dial pad. And I always call my voicemail. That's the first call I make. That shows if I have connectivity, shows any delay. The first time I punched in my number and called it, nothing happened. I hit the green button, nothing happened. And I'm like, ooh, huge red flag, not good at all. Then I noticed as I was using the numbers, really sluggish. Ended up, I did not buy that phone, okay? Kind of lousy, but chick definitely knew she was selling me a bad phone. So anyway, I bypassed it. What tipped me off there as well is with such a big crack section on the back of the S7 Edge, I think there was just drop damage inside, is my guess. I don't know for sure. I don't think it was water. I think it was just drop. But anyway, as you run through activation, don't do it too automatically, because like I caught that weird issue right as I'd finished activating, and I was still brain engaged because I thought something isn't quite right here. Okay, so we've activated the phone, we've called our voicemail so we know it works. That gives us a good ear speaker check. For instance, this phone is a really crappy ear speaker. Didn't know enough to check when I bought it, but I got it for like $30, so it's not too bad. But you always want to check that, okay? Check the ear speaker. Then you're going to check a Wi-Fi. So I always connect to the Wi-Fi. If you don't have it at the building you're in, put up a mobile hotspot. This is a must. If you're doing phones, you need a hotspot. You put up a hotspot, you connect your phone to it, then you listen to something with some pretty good music sway. Like I always Google classical music, and I play the exact same video every time, so I know kind of what I should be hearing. Is the speaker loud? Turn it up. Is it loud enough? Etc. Right? Is there fuzz? I caught a phone once that had fuzz, and I was buying it from a guy with bad hearing. He legitimately didn't know. Great guy, just he didn't know. So, voicemail, Wi-Fi. We've already done biometrics, fingerprint sensor. Now we've checked all of the speakers. Make sure your Wi-Fi speed is okay. If it's super slow, figure that out. Anything else we need to check? Well, of course. If it's doesn't have IMEI on the back, it's not a bad idea to run a check. So into settings, about, if you're on an iPhone, or I think it's about this phone typically on the Androids. Anyway, that's so fine. Or star #06# is also a good option as well. So run an IMEI check on what the phone actually tells you. And then, assuming you're all good to go, super dope, you're fine. Hopefully you've checked out your phone now. You bought a nice phone. So that's the easy part. Let's roll back to kind of an interesting situation that I have right now. I'll show you guys a little trick that you can do. Bingo. Okay, thanks for confirming. We're looking at your request. So everyone should know what this is, but I realized the other day that maybe everyone didn't. And this is the AT&T Unlock portal, okay? It's free. There's nothing that you need to pay for. Just go in, mark you're not a customer, even if you are. I am, but it doesn't matter. Mark that you're not a customer, punch in the IMEI, contact details, email, and then it will basically send you through an automated process, and they will say your device is eligible for unlock or it's not. One weird tip, if anyone is doing this but they found it super delayed, PM me. I figured out a way to make this faster. It's nothing janky. It's just weird to get into. Basically, you're using a referral email system. After I submitted a bunch of these, for some reason they now make me wait like the full 3 days, but if I submit through a referral email address, it happens in 60 minutes or less. So that's worth a try if you're getting bogged down, but happy to explain that more in PMs to anybody that actually cares. So what did I submit an unlock request on? Well, I will show you guys actually what I submitted on, and it is this phone right here. Okay, now this is actually super interesting situation. This also connects to IMEI.Pro. Now, interesting, Swappa is showing me bad ESN. Now, I do not actually trust Swappa. I've had some really gnarly near misses where Swappa said it's fine, but carrier-specific check said it wasn't. Problem is, right now there's not really any trustworthy sites, in my opinion, to do this on, so hopefully maybe one of you knows. The iUnlocker website, also not helpful for this. So here's that same IMEI punched into IMEI.Pro. Kind of interesting. Generated 7 minutes ago by me, and shouldn't be a problem, right? Shows clean on the AT&T network. This is actually totally BS. It's not clean on AT&T network, and I can prove it to you. But for anyone who is swearing by IMEI.Pro, no, definitely no. Same deal with Swappa. It absolutely shows you bad results sometimes. This is why it's crucial to check on both networks. It's even better to go to a store, meet someone at a store if you can. But you've got to check on all the carrier-specific checks on the IMEI.Pro if there's any doubt whatsoever on this phone or whatever phone you're checking, and also to check it on Swappa. And if you have a third option, check it on the third option. Most of us are going to be too lazy to do it every time, so normally I'm only going to run it on 2, but anyway, we'll get to that. So why am I saying that the IMEI.Pro is totally BS and I'm believing Swappa if I already said I don't like Swappa? Great question. Here's why. When you go to the AT&T, well, I'm gonna switch to my webcam real quick so I don't flash my email to everybody, although I know we're dying to see Sam's email. You know, what goods does he have in there? Here we go. I'll show it to us. There's nothing too exciting though. I keep my email pretty dang vanilla actually. So here it is. When you submit that unlock request, AT&T sends you a confirmation email. You say, yes, I want to confirm, I want to unlock. And then they send you this. Hi, Sam. Thanks for contacting AT&T about unlocking your Samsung N920A device. They can't process because the device is reported lost or stolen. Device reported lost and stolen. That's interesting. I thought IMEI.Pro said it was clean. Okay, really interesting. I also double checked on this if it was actually an AT&T device, which it was, otherwise the unlock request wouldn't have processed. But so I'm talking to this guy who contacted me. I say, phone looks like it's blacklisted. Is it Sprint? So I'm saying I don't think it's AT&T, but he does show me a picture. Now my first thought was could be stock photo. I've had people try to do this to me lately. Actually super frustrating. But in this case, probably accurate. Dude's black. It's a black hand. He didn't have to wait that long. Okay. When we check it, yes, there's a logo. Then we find out it's blacklisted by AT&T. Boom, that's a problem. And this is what it looks like when you confirm the request. You go through the process and says, thanks for confirming, blah, 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 blah. Not important, okay? When I ran it on Check Phone IMEI, absolutely no info there at all. And this is what it looks like when you're going through the device portal. So no, CAPTCHA. If the CAPTCHA doesn't show up for you, run it in Internet Explorer or run it on your mobile device, whichever, that'll show up fine. For some reason, Chrome hasn't been displaying the CAPTCHAs lately. Okay, so I don't want to drag this on too long. The TLDR, okay, the short version is those are the things that I check on a phone. The second version, the second lesson, I guess, here today is do your due diligence on these phones. All right, guys are getting burned all the time. Happens to me too sometimes. But this phone would have been a total dud if I had actually bought it. It was a Note 5 Google locked. Not a problem. Google locked is easy. The problem is it's AT&T blacklisted, which IMEI.Pro did not tell me. Okay. Swappa does not tell me what carrier it is. This is kind of a problem. And then, for whatever reason, in fact, this phone was blacklisted. So, anyway, due diligence. AT&T is super easy to work with because you can submit an unlock request before you buy the phone, and that is like the most verifiable way to check. And I'll put a link for that in the description, actually, in case anybody didn't see it. So, long video today. Hopefully it was helpful to somebody, though. Thanks for watching, guys. If there's other videos that you want me to do, other content that you want me to cover, let me know. So today we looked at how to check out a phone and kind of an interesting AT&T situation. Oh, the last thing that just comes to mind is I was buying an iPhone SE in Kansas City on Monday, and I looked it up, and it was not financed, which is great. Good gal, met her at the store. Turns out that though the phone was not financed, it had been purchased under a 2-year contractual agreement. So the IMEI checks out okay, actually. It was Verizon, I think. I think it was Verizon. The IMEI checks out okay, but it's still actually locked to her. So that was kind of a new wrinkle for me, and hopefully that will give some info to somebody else, one of you guys who deals with a similar situation. So make sure to check that as well. All right, thanks guys. Thanks for watching, and happy phone buying, and I'll see you later.